What's poppin', y'all? It's Carne Rob, and
Stay forward.
And I want to say welcome back to another installment of the Play No Games podcast. And if you're clicking on this podcast, I know you're choosing entertainment, I know you're choosing fun, and I know you're choosing some wisdom today.
What's going on? Like normally, like I get like a illustrious, luxurious. I don't know what's another adjective you be throwing around.
I don't know, bullshit.
You never say bull. Well, actually, no, you do say bullshit.
I laugh.
Yeah. Oh, where's the maniacal laugh as well?
No need for that this week.
A little under the weather.
But actually, the reason why I'm starting the show off a little differently is I feel like everyone in this room is challenging me to get better, and I kind of want to do some different intros. And this intro's for us, but mainly for you, the guests, because you're choosing to watch us today, and we're gonna have some fun, some laughs, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share it to a friend.
For sure. So let's get into our first game that we always like to play. Rob, this week, what do you play no games about?
I was going to talk about Studio Ghibli, but I'm playing no games about allergies. Hey, yo, when I said I thought I was literally dying on Tuesday, like I'm talking to clients like, what's your problem? And they're like, oh my gosh. As you can hear it. I'm going to play no games about getting on top of that because I've been like super lazy. With it, it is get on top of your allergies. Are we making this sexual?
Wait, sorry, sorry.
Anywho, what you got? Fuck. See, I came different today. They with the same bullshit. I came different.
You started choking. They said, "I'm gonna get on top of that."
I was choking.
Oh my god.
I was. They all watched me die.
Oh,
but I came back.
All of them? There's more than one?
Yes.
Oh god, I'm so childish.
Yes, you are.
What do I play no games about? I play no games about the fact that you're probably one of the most unintentionally funny people I've ever met.
What I do?
And we were having a conversation before we started recording, y'all. I was asking Rob what he would do if his partner were to be at an Usher concert with him, and how he would respond if Usher brought down the cherry. So I'm gonna play no games about that, and I would love to hear and just for you to share with the audience how you would handle that.
Okay, like so.
Now, if he were to stick and go like this,
if he would dangle the cherries,
yeah,
I will sit back and I'll look and see what my partner does. Because at the end of the day, I'm not about to fight. I'm not about to argue. But if she does any of that, wing bop, boom bop, bam on those cherries, I'm up out of there. But I don't see how that's intentionally funny.
Oh, it is for sure. Now, if he were to say ah.
Okay. Yeah, we've lost it.
Okay, so if it was you.
You did it to me?
Yeah.
Hell no. What the fuck? That's actually the same thing to you. You with your girl. And he's
listen. You have to be original. You can't keep on just trying to flip questions that I ask you onto me, bro.
Okay, fair. I will actually take that. But yes, I would. You're putting it right. Whatever. Anywho.
Wait. How much do you weigh?
No. I'm not even going to answer that question.
I don't think the people can hear you.
How much do you weigh? Because Usher's 5'8" at apparently 165.
Okay, I'm like.
So you would be the Dom, probably.
Yeah.
No.
You're the femme.
I'm like two. Last time I checked, I was like 216.
How tall?
I'm about 5'11".
Okay, so you got reach and weight.
I think Usher has longer reach than me.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, I feel like his wingspan. But I could be wrong. But I've only seen the nigga fucking do in the rain and shit. I can't do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But, Usher, we keep praising Usher. Mm-hmm. But I think we should be praising some other stuff that's recently come out.
Praising, sinning, same shit. I feel like everyone on Black Twitter is talking about this new movie that Ryan Coogler has directed. It's called Sinners. Michael B. Jordan is the lead. They also have a whole bunch of actors you may or may not be familiar with. Rob, you see the movie?
I did.
Just one time?
Well, just one. I will watch it again. I think I have plans to watch it again, and I will just say this: spoiler alert! If you haven't seen it, this is your time to freeze it. I will definitely have chapters in this episode, so you can just skip some of this. But we're gonna be talking about it full throttle. Sorry, man. It was a damn good movie.
Yeah, I agree too. And I feel like the only people I've ever seen like really have an issue with it, they were going into it expecting a traditional horror film with like just a whole bunch of gory shit.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's like Get Out in the sense that there's just endless breadcrumbs, or like it's a psychological thriller. But no, there's a deeper plot here and a lot of symbolism and messaging as well. Probably my favorite Michael B. Jordan acting performance of his career, to be honest with you.
I appreciate you saying that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He did a great job playing Smoke and Stack. I honestly, I feel like originally Jonathan Majors was probably, I've seen rumors that he was supposed to be a co-lead next to him, and they were supposed to be brothers, but they made it work in terms of like the camera angles, and at times like if they were talking to each other as brothers, probably having a stunt double and just working the camera angle so that way you couldn't see the other person's face. But yeah, I thought he did a great job.
I like that it wasn't like brothers, but like twins. I feel like the twin effect made it. Now I did cheat a little bit. I did see some interviews from Breakfast Club and other places how Ryan and Michael B talked about it. I feel like that twin effect, and when Ryan was talking about meeting, I think there's some twins that lived in the Bay with him, and how like he kind of like had him kicking with Michael B and things like that. I feel like there's like that energy and kind of gets into the symbolism of like what does it mean to be a twin versus if it was brothers, like.
And also just
you feel me?
Yeah, and just also the duality, like how Stack, he was very money hungry, very just looking to dabble in different shit, whereas like Smoke, he was goody two shoes, so to speak.
Yeah.
I thought, well, let me ask you this: did you have any gripes with the movie?
So, if it didn't have the end scenes, like I'm talking about like the end, like
after credits,
things like that, I would have graded it a little lower. But having it have that and not it just be like, because this is my opinion, him going back to like finish the circle of taking out like the Ku Klux Klan dude, like. I mean, honestly, I kind of expected that after getting like some of the breadcrumbs of like that, but them finishing the loop in the circle of he became a vampire. He's like, my brother didn't kill me, and I'm just like navigating, living through life, and I miss him. And then having their cousin not get turned and like seeing the implications of that. I feel like that was like such like the big thing for me.
See, there was one issue I had with that because
Really?
only because there was a plot hole, and I think Ryan could have done a better job in shooting this. So, like you just alluded to, at the end credits, you see, I think her name was Mary and Stack. They're there and they confront Sammy in the bar, right?
Yeah.
How did they survive?
Oh,
think about it, because the sun wiped out everyone. They should have probably had a scene where you see the sun's coming up, and you see them roll underneath, because there were plenty of cars in that parking lot. So they roll underneath the car, and then maybe Smoke is like looking at him, and he's like, as he's about to die, he's like, all right, my brother's there, and he's like surviving or whatever have you. Do y'all need some privacy?
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all. They off camera playing with some baby lotion and some floss. I don't know what's about to happen.
Yeah. So we'll just say this. Maybe it's just my anime brain and shit like that. But it's kind of like, for me, I didn't need that explained. I just like that because like I've seen a lot of like Devil May Cry or other where vampires were resourceful. Like when Homeboy dropped in at the beginning of the movie, like he was coming from somewhere, like beating, trying to find somewhere like to get away from the sun. So like,
see, initially I had an issue with that, and I thought it was there's a weird jump cut. As obviously this, I'm talking about the camera angles. You can't just literally just drop somebody out the fucking sky. But as you realize, there's some symbolism with what was his name, Remy or Remit? Yeah, whatever. It kind of alludes to Lucifer being cast out of heaven.
Okay. So why would that be a bad thing? Because
It's not once I have that context
Okay.
later in the movie, but just seeing somebody fall and then they're on camera, that's a jump cut.
because the connected dot for people who haven't seen it is like when they're at the train station and they're reading the paper. If you slow it down, there's like it's like a Boston Tea type of like news article of like what happened, of like how the vampires came from Ireland to get there. So like I'm assuming he was coming from that incident, like that battle, because everyone was slaughtered. I was able to see that piece, but I do want a slight pivot, right? Still saying it in this conversation, the symbolism. I simply enjoy the symbolism of the movie because like everything, no words were wasted, no imagery was wasted, and I feel like when you have like an original film and you're really doing it off the muscle, like I'm like supremely proud of like what that symbolizes, like for like just our culture and like how many like stories like we can tell without the rinse and repeats of like other
slave films and other black trauma films. Yeah.
Exactly.
And if you go back, if you ever watch, if you get a chance to watch the movie again, I just in my head counted out, but I was peeping certain stuff throughout it. Kind of a play on how religion, God is referenced, and hell. If you go through the entire movie, each of the 10 commandments are broken by certain people within their own sins, more or less. Like for example, like the woman who sleeps with Sammy, adultery is one of them. Sammy doesn't honor his father. It's just like different things. Yeah. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not steal.
I was about to bring in the reference of the books where he's basing a lot of characters from, but like the 10 commandments were broken.
Every one of them.
So I have a question for you.
What's up?
Within the movie, do you feel like they did a good job representing how, and I didn't even know this, how there was a strong Chinese influence in the South?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, it's a period piece, so.
Well, I asked you this is because, you went to, schools, down south New Orleans, and I'm like, I didn't know that. And, I was like, did you know that? Because that's history I didn't know.
Yeah, there are a lot.
Being honest with you.
Yeah, there are a lot of Asian American people that live in New Orleans. It's kind of funny because, like, you'll see them and you may have like a certain perception of them, but then as soon as they get to talking, they sound like some like Cajuns that grew up in the bayou.
Yeah. So, my leading question is she wrong for letting those niggas in?
Absolutely. That was the craziest crash out I've seen in quite some time. Honestly, I might have put a bullet through her head. Like the minute they had to like talk her off the ledge, I know she was like, bro, she's gonna crash out.
But your daughter,
they're gonna kill her regardless if they have it on their mind too. So what is letting the man gonna do at this point?
You're
stopping what? He could literally, you could literally give him access to come in, and while 90% of them go in, they could still send somebody to go get your daughter.
Well, that's how Michael B. Jordan got out of there. Well, his twin. Plot hole. But I've been saying, I don't think that's wrong though. Like as a parent, like she was brought to the brink.
But you still have to use logic as well.
Well, it worked out for him.
No, it didn't.
Little Annie.
90% of them still died.
Annie is alive.
I guess. Like, what the fuck?
I don't think that was wrong. If I'm being honest with you, like as a parent, like I get it. Like she was pushed to the brink, and
also, sorry, not to cut your knowledge. Another like little breadcrumb.
Oh, okay.
So Remmett, the Irishman, right, who was like the lead vampire, and kind of allude to him being the devil at times, right? What was Lucifer the angel of?
Love.
And music.
Oh, I didn't.
And what was he?
Bro, they was playing that shit.
Yeah, but that's why he was so talented at singing.
So do you believe music has that type of power?
I think it can. Like any like form of media or any medium where you're disseminating information, if it's done from a corrupt space can corrupt people.
Yeah, I don't play with ghosts. Like that Ouija board stuff. I believe that you could really open.
But I mean, even these mics though we're using right now, like if we're spewing a whole bunch of hate language and we build up an audience around that, that can
Fresh and fit.
wow, yeah, but yeah.
Okay, so my last bit with sinners that I at least want to bring up is when it comes to actually that's a lie. I do want to bring up Michael B's performance because that's one thing I feel like I don't want to say it's gonna be like an Oscar worthy performance, but I really feel that he's really grown in my opinion, and I feel like when we did our top 10 actors, I think he needs a little bit more respect.
No, but we're working in the right direction now.
Okay, so what would he need to do next? Because that's like my fault.
A whole career's worth of good to great performances.
Okay, so what would he need to do next?
I don't know, another fucking film. It could be a drama film. It could be. What do you mean? Like, do you want me to map out the exact film? Like,
No, because y'all.
I'm not saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Okay, well, one, y'all ain't giving the nigga the credit. He just acted his ass
what?
off.
Fuck? I literally opened this saying this was the best fucking acting performance I've ever seen him do.
I broke this. All right, I broke this.
You fucking with the mics again?
My bad.
Just keep.
We keep going.
Okay.
No, keep going. Yeah.
But yeah. Well, you said that. Like, he just needs to continue to build up his filmography with performances like this.
So my last two things that we can move on to the next thing is one, because this is a Ryan Coogler original. Do you think this is going to open up a new wavelength?
No.
Damn. All right, I'll move on to the next.
Now, I'll say this. He can get this shit off because he's built up a big enough catalog and cachet with his name for people to support him. Also, him and Michael B. Jordan, they just have a certain chemistry that I think people gravitate towards. Yeah. Joe Schmo just trying to greenlight their own film. Joe probably doesn't have enough money to back it financially. And most production studios these days, if it's not something Marvel or reboot or something like that, or fucking Madea Goes to Space, like I've alluded to, you're not getting funding. So
a t-shirt.
It just is what it is, unfortunately.
All right. Well, the last thing I want to ask you, at least on this, is what was your most recognizable or impactful scene for you in Sinners?
That's tough. I wish you would have asked me this right before I seen, or right after I saw it. I would say probably the one that sticks out the most to me is the film work Ryan did as Sammy was playing the blues, and he's going through the crowd and taking the POV first person POV shots, examining how everybody's reacting to the music, and then you see different generations of black musicians, just going with the rhythm of everything. You see, rock stars, hip hop artists, soul singers in the 70s and 80s. It was just kind of crazy.
See, I thought you was gonna say that that one part where Sam was in the room, but
No, I'm not a freak boy like you.
I at least want to say I'm glad we're on the same wavelength when it comes to at least Sammy. I think him holding the guitar and seeing from loop to loop, and then seeing the the time skip. I feel like to me that just symbolized a lot of trauma, a lot of following your own path, and that to me just stuck out the most to me, and I just really appreciate that because he could have taken the safe route. The safe route was to be a preacher's son, but also he continued the music, and then at the end of almost even still at the end of his life, he could have been tempted again. And I think for me, I was just paying attention to how he was holding on to that guitar, where it's kind of I lived this life how I wanted to, and maybe it's not was in the church, but it's almost kind of music has the power to harm in to heal, and I think he was trying to heal with the best music that he could.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking about harming and healing,
Huh?
Rob's favorite uncle is in the news once again.
Think of what?
So,
What?
Uncle Shannon, you dirty dog, you. So, Shannon Sharpe, famous former athlete in the NFL and now a media personality, most notably on ESPN's First Take, as well as his own platform what's it?
Ocho?
What's the name of the podcast?
Club Shay.
Club, but it's After Dark or something like that.
Ooh.
Some shit like that. Anyways, yep. So, what was once an anonymous woman is working with Tony Busby, who most notably also filed a civil suit against Sean Carter, Jay-Z, as well as a few other notable black male figures for a sexual assault civil lawsuit. She's claiming that Shannon raped her along with a few other devious acts. Rob, when you saw the news, what were your initial thoughts?
I said, damn, we're losing another one.
Mm-hmm.
1-800-CALL Umar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say for me, I was like, damn, he's cooked, because I know he's in the middle of negotiating a new media deal for his platform with his podcast, and there were rumors circulating that it was going to be anywhere in like the $80 million to $100 million ballpark range. So that's more likely cooked now. Curious to see what ESPN's response will be to this, because they normally have a very low tolerance for any type of BS because they are a Disney corporation. So, it's going to be kind of hard for them to turn a blind eye to this another time, because they already kind of did with the Michelle situation earlier this year, as you alluded to.
Shit. Hey, well, he's still on. No, it's just unfortunate. I wrote some notes about this. I think one of the things I came up with is lust. And the reason why I say lust is because, I think we, in this room, we've all learned that, dick discipline. Like, you just can't throw away your empire.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
And it's a shame that you're a 50-year-old man and he literally talked about having some version of that and not tricking off the bag. And then behind the scenes, it'd be your own heroes being like, don't do this shit. Like,
yeah, I've always kind of found it funny, or I found it funny rather, that he spends so much time chastising Chad Johnson about professionalism, all this shit.
Thank you.
And Chad he may show up late for their podcast one day, or, curse or something to that effect. But now you have sexual assault allegations and, very quiet.
Can I just add? So I'm reading through the article. It's wild because there's a Jane Doe or whatever.
She's not Jane Doe no more.
She had apparently asked him, "I want you to tie me up. I want you to abuse me." Blah blah. Getting into some BDSM, and his attorney and him are saying that's why she was raped. She was asking for it. That's such a wild angle for me. Anyways, that's my. Are
you talking about Shannon's lawyers?
Yeah.
So I always speak on that a little bit. Well, from what I know is she's an OnlyFans model.
Wow, very, very dark road we're about to head down.
I'm speaking from what I've researched and what I've known, and like,
is the end here going to be she was asking for it?
Shut up. Let me finish my thought. Meaning that they would have conversations of because there is like a kink of like you break into my house type of thing.
Yeah, but you can do that whether you're an OnlyFans model or not.
No, I'm just trying to like give like the gravitas of like her services. So like
we don't know if that's one of her services.
But I'm trying to tell you from what I've heard from the research, and that research is that's what they did, were the audio that we haven't talked about that came out. Like,
what is the research that you have an OnlyFans account?
See, I'm trying to. See, y'all stay with the trolling bullshit. You see what I'm talking about, RJ? You see what I'm talking about? I'm trying to do some shit. Now, only reason I'm saying and bring that up. Only reason I'm saying I'm bringing it up is because. Only reason I'm saying that I'm bringing it up is because.
Abuse Robert.
Maybe by a few people.
That's what he meant by pull the clip.
Anywho.
He's gonna tie her up with flaws. Oh my fucking god!
He won't stand a chance against Usher if that holds, yeah.
All I'm saying is,
He's blushing now.
I'm not blushing. You would do first and foremost. That's some shit you would fucking do and call it.
You were the one who you were just alluding to the fact that Sammy eating some pussy straight off a day's worth of walking was going to be your most notable scene from Sinners. So don't bring me.
I'm just.
Don't bring me into your
first and foremost when y'all.
Don't bring me into your sexual deviant bullshit.
No, when y'all.
Hey
do
Rob,
this
can you
trolling
finish your
bullshit,
thought on like where you're going with the?
I
She was the
will.
OnlyFans, so she was asking for it.
So first and foremost, stop trying to be the most self-righteous nigga in the room. So you can stop. So first and foremost, So when I can troll, I was trolling with that. So that's number one. Number two, only reason I was going with that thought is from some of the reports I read and some of the videos I watched, where it's kind of like it's not because she's a fucking OnlyFans model. It's kind of like that was like their kink. And like when Shannon was like, "Oh, release the footage," or not the footage because
The full sex tape.
the full whatever, right? It's like a broken. It's like a 10-minute thing where the Bugsby dude like cut up that piece where it's kind of like their relationship was like more like a sexual exchange where like they would talk that way. So number one, she's not consent is important, but like the gravitas of the relationship, it was like they would talk to each other like that. So
Okay. I have seen somewhere, and I haven't been able to confirm this, that she was 19 when their relationship started.
Yeah, the man at the gym, allegedly.
So the man was 54 years old, dealing with a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the morality of that? I know this is your favorite uncle, and you guys go way back.
Yeah. My favorite uncle. He taught me how to do. He taught me how to the bench press. Help me out. I'm not gonna lie.
They stretch you out.
Not at all. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
It's
Shit. Straight to it.
It's kind of weird.
For sure.
It's weird.
Yeah, I've seen people arguing this shit. Like, is it illegal? No. Am I gonna look at you crazy? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even now at 29, if like I was entertaining a woman under, I think the lowest I could go is probably like 25.
Okay, right now.
24 at the absolute most.
Right now, if we went to Shake.
I would not be in Shake.
Okay, let's just say magically we were in Shake. Okay. What's like the oldest like age where you're like, man, you probably shouldn't be in here? Like, what's too old?
How old are you?
I'm 30. I'm 32.
You're not 32.
I'm 32.
You're not 32.
I'm 32.
Okay, how old are you for real?
I'm 32.
I guess we're just lying today.
I'm 33.
Okay, thank you.
How do you? Why is me adding one more baby?
Because that's your fucking age. That's why. So I would say if you're anything past 30, like kind of 34, 30, if you're past 35 in there, you really just need to be exiting in handcuffs.
So we can all agree that there's an age for niggas to be in the club.
I wouldn't even say the club, that club in particular.
That's funny for 10 other reasons.
Because if you went to like Club Live at 35, I'm not gonna let you crazy. LeBron goes there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just that club.
And there's no shade to shade because I fuck with Angel and Tim. It's just that it's a younger crowd that goes there. So if you're 39 and there's a possibility that you could be dancing and talking to a 22-year-old. Yeah, that's kind of
So
no judgment, but a little judgment.
no, it's a lot of judgment. So you come from an OG line where it's kind of like there's like stages to it. Where like I've heard some wonderful stories about your pops and how he moves. How he's instilled that with you. Why do you think that's not translating to other niggas where like they just can't give the shit up?
It's a lot of different reasons. I wouldn't say it's that. I wouldn't say my pops raising me like had a direct correlation with that, but somewhat of an influence. But even still, it's just kind of like a you thing. Just kind of got to read the room at some point.
Yeah.
When I can clearly tell everyone in here is far younger than even my younger sister. Yeah, I don't have any reason to be here anymore.
So what's the most appropriate age gap you think for?
Depends on where you're at in life.
Okay, so let's say a 50-year-old. How low can he go?
Without me looking at you crazy,
Yeah.
35.
Damn. Niggas can't have fun. No 28s.
Nah.
Damn.
I say 35 to late 30s. Late 30s. That's probably the lowest. I mean, bro, you got to think you damn near papa. Like you probably you are
He
pop.
say
You
papa.
papa age at that point.
I'm being called unk right now.
You are unk.
I am unk. I like that. I'm a good unk. Yeah. I'm gonna bring back this point I was talking about. Lust. I think, and I think when it comes to men, when they get older, they kind of get more into their financial bag, and it's kind of like Shannon's has his money, things like that, man. Where it's kind of like
Let me get the trick in to live out all my sexual fantasies.
exactly where it's kind of like there's gotta be a point where I think Monique got on him. Was kind of like you gotta have, I don't want to say someone your age, but it's kind of like you gotta have someone be in your league where I think
Y'all
that's
just
real.
in the same place in life or similar place in life.
Exactly, because I know this has been recycled so many different times, but like I am curious, like what do you talk about to like that age difference? Because
Like you was alive to remember Dr. King being a thing on Earth.
like if you can't get some of these references, like come on, Captain Crunches, like Fruity Pebbles, like Bam Bam.
I mean, that shit. They didn't discontinue Fruity Pebbles.
But Flintstones was discontinued. If she didn't even know what the Jetsons
The
were.
Flintstones are still on TV.
Not really. Unless you have like Boomerang. Right?
I think they remade them.
Oh.
And they've been adding WWE wrestlers and stuff in them now.
You're lying.
I'm not. I'll send it to you.
You're fucking lying. Okay.
Now I got it.
You got it, Nick Sager?
Yeah. Flintstones and WWE Stone Age SmackDown 2015.
Damn.
Told you.
Do you want me to read the cast? Who's in this? The Undertaker, Bryan Danielson, Jeff Bergman, and some other people I don't know.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh, Rey Mysterio.
Okay. So what do you think is gonna happen to Shannon?
I think he
Of course. Can't see him though.
couldn't speak to how the civil suit will go. I think he will, at best, end up still paying her a lengthy sum just for make this whole situation go away.
Yeah.
I think ESPN removes him permanently from First Take.
Damn.
Then, in terms of his podcast, he probably still does it independently, but all his major sponsorships. What's kind of crazy with all this though? If you pay attention with his sponsor, with his one of his main sponsors for his podcast, one of them actually happens to be like a Viagra pill. I don't know if you've ever seen that red pill that like opens up most of his shows.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like the irony with all this.
How old is he?
56.
I wonder what his kids are saying to him right now.
Please stop embarrassing us.
Well, Right now, it is Shannon versus Bugsby versus OnlyFans woman versus, he's down. He's down. But we got this new segment with the Play No Games podcast where we're going to be doing a lot more games and interactive things where this is be a slow introduction because everyone in this room is hyper competitive. Like, last week we had a beautiful opportunity to run a relay. We all did fucking phenomenal. Shout out to Desktop.
Home team.
W team. And I think we should just have more games on here. And then at the end of the fucking year, we're going to see us most dubs in the fucking chat. And I don't know. We might win some shit. I don't know. We're hyper competitive. But to start things off, I have like a funny what if scenario for you because I'm curious. If it was only hands, no, you can't make no tools. You can't do nothing. Like, who are your best friends right now?
Like, do I need to give a set number? Like, I have a lot of friends.
Okay, your core group.
Again, like, I have college friends I'm very close with.
Your best friends. The friends that you talk to on a regular basis.
God damn. Like, you keep on. All right. I'll just say, Coop. I have, all right, 7. I have about 7 very, very close friends that I talk to. I'm not trolling, bro. I have a college group chat where we talk we've talked every day for the last 10 years. Along with Terry and Coop and a lot.
So could your friends group versus hands only, do you think your friends group can beat an adult gorilla?
No. Can I add more people?
Of course.
All right. To get adults. That's funny. I would say it'd probably take at least 60 of us. You and Drew would have to be the part of the sacrificial lambs in the first 10. Not you, RJ. Don't you fucker. You fucking muted me. Oh. Wait, am I still muted? All right, good. Fuck off. Don't do that. Nah, but bro, real talk, yeah, we'll take at least 60 of us to get a fucking gorilla down. Like, shout out my guy Snook, and you can actually tag him if you do post this. Me and him have went back so many times on. He believes he could actually fight a gorilla. I'm like, bro, that motherfucker would literally
cave your chest in.
Fuck, cave your chest in. He would rip your arm out of its fucking socket. Like, that's the thing. Yeah, that's why I said 60. 60 could probably get it down if we all touch it at once. It's just the first 20 are never walking again.
Oh, yeah. So my friends group, we all range from, I would say, 5'10" to maybe like 6'3". And we're bench pressing maybe like 200. I think we could get a gorilla, but some people
an adult size gorilla.
We got some college athletes in there. We got.
For context, an adult silverback can weigh about 500 pounds.
I didn't ask for a silverback. I asked for
You're getting a silverback.
I asked for a gorilla.
No. And how much can they lift?
Jeez, how much can they lift?
Yes.
Chat
GPTs are friends.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. One sec. They have the bite power of about 1,300 pounds per square inch.
So how many humans, hands only, do you think could be an adult gorilla? Like, I think
I told you it would take about 60.
60. I'm gonna say it'll take like 30. The first 15 dead, the next 15 crippled, and the other ones like because the gorilla's gonna take some type of damage.
You already got to 30.
But we gotta.
You said 15.
The humans are gonna have residual damage.
Depending on the type of gorilla, they can lift anywhere from 300 pounds for a small one, or 4,000 pounds for a big one.
And you talking about you, Jordan, and Josh.
You want to get Usher in on that?
we got the cherries.
Call Mr. T and fucking who else?
We got 18. That's the 18. Damn. I actually think that will be a poll question. I'm just curious how many humans do you think would take. You say 60?
Bro, I think at least, for sure, at least 40 plus.
40 plus?
Because you got to think, within that 40, I'm not assuming everyone's in tip-top shape.
See, that's what I thought I was raging.
Knows how to fight. Like, when's the last time you actually been in a scuffle?
It's been a while.
See.
You?
Like 3 years ago.
Damn, you win?
You see my face?
You got 3 years to heal. So what are you talking about?
You should see his face.
Oh, so he's two-faced now? There he great.
No, I'm not going to snitch on myself.
You know what?
Statute of limitations for assault lasts pretty long.
Smart man. That was Destiny. Good job. Actually, y'all, chat. I'm curious. How many hands only human versus one gorilla? It's not silverback, or maybe it's a silverback. How many humans do you think? It might be a poll question, but that's pretty much gonna be the end of that segment. But we're gonna have more interactive things. But you got something?
I googled an answer, but I'm.
All right, Google, share the answer.
Why would I share an answer? That kills the fun.
Okay, we'll release it in the story.
And we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Fuck off.
Do you have an event coming up? A project that would be elevated by crisp visuals and clear audio? Look no further than the Backseat Critic Productions. Our email is bc.productions.pdx@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram at bc.productions.pdx.
We're back. Yeah.
What? Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, and we're back. So yeah, we had a lot of good conversations in the first half of the episode. I know Rob fucks with this guy, and I seen a clip of him circulating around my Twitter timeline. Wallow, you don't fuck with Wallow?
Oh yeah. Okay.
So Wallow, he was in headlines recently. He was looked like he was speaking to a whole bunch of different entrepreneurs and black business owners on like some like motivational speaking tour.
Yeah.
And he was alluding to the fact that black people he was speaking more singularly in terms of his own experiences, but he doesn't feel obligated to support black businesses just because they're black businesses, and was emphatic in the sense that, or about the fact rather, that, if this white-owned business or, Latin American-owned business or, whatever have you, has better service, he's going to support that business because he fucks with consistency. He's not just going to support somebody just because they're black, and their black businesses sometimes fail because of, inconsistency with hours that they're open, or it doesn't match what, it may say online, or, understaffed, wait time, shit like that. How do you feel about that? Do you feel obligated to support black businesses at all? As a black man?
Number one, shout out to Wallow. You do a lot of good things. At first, I thought you'd be doing shit for shits and giggles, but I actually genuinely believe when he walk in the streets, he believes in that. But me, I would say yes. Sometimes I have the pressure I have to support this because of that, and that's just because of our, history and lineage. I'd say just for the aspect, yes, sometimes.
I do too. Like even today, I supported a black-owned coffee shop when I was about to go eat coffee. Went to a black-owned restaurant for dinner before I came here, and I don't know. Do I got some on my face? Oh shit.
What happened?
Anyways.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a lot going on here, y'all.
Yeah,
But anyways,
Backseat Critics are back doing their shit.
yeah, for sure.
So,
It's RJ's first week back in a while,
Exactly.
so like they're just on
Welcome
bullshit.
back, RJ.
Yeah, but like I was saying
Oil
though,
and water.
you can clip this if you need to.
Yeah.
Like this morning, I went to a black-owned coffee shop. Shout out to Deadstock. When I was making my selection to grab some coffee, I went to a black-owned restaurant for dinner tonight, Akati, before I came here. So when I can, I am very intentional about making sure my dollar circulates within my own community.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the gripes that people have with black-owned businesses can be overstated, because people will say like, I gotta wait such and such just to get some food from, whatever business. But they'll gladly take that little buzzer and sit at Red Lobster for 45 minutes for a table. When something goes wrong with their order, they're just going to ask to speak to a waiter at that restaurant. Maybe at most ask for a manager to get a reimbursement on their money if they weren't satisfied with their service or food, and that's it. While when we go to our own businesses, at times, if something goes awry or just human error comes along, people will air out the business, air out the business owner online, and just do the most. People sometimes get kink out of tearing each other down, unfortunately.
Whew. You said a lot. Not in a bad way. It's just, we could have like multitude of podcasts about this. And, I really appreciate you, saying that you are intentional, where it's kind of like, the black dollar is a very strong, currency in our world, where you look at Target now. They're like, maybe we shouldn't have done some shit.
Tesla.
You look at, so it's like, this is what I feel like our community, number one, suffers with, and I feel like a lot of communities suffer at this at different various levels, is two things can be true at the same time. Meaning, I have and I will support black-owned businesses, but also going back to what you're saying, that wallow piece, like, it's got to be a good, like, you got to have a good business. You got to have some consistency. And I feel like having the business, sometimes it's like, all right, I have the business. I have the participation trophy. Like, I'm doing the thing. Like, support me. And sometimes, we'll just say, because there might be the reverse of it, right? Where it's kind of like, maybe you didn't go to a Akati or you didn't go to a Dead Stock, and like the coffee was legitimately like trash. Like, I feel like there's a way to comment about someone's business or how to get better, where it's kind of like, when you look at like podcasts or things like that, I'm open for feedback for how it's delivered.
But see, my only pushback to that is this. When you go on a rant and do that to a small business owner, that can kill their reputation. Like, I don't know, name me a chain restaurant you like going to. Cheesecake. Maybe not them, because they're kind of so. But let's just say like there are 1,000 Starbucks or a million Starbucks across the country, right? Yeah. If you say something bad about one Starbucks, they can afford that PR hit for a couple months. Rob's deli shop, Rob can't afford that.
I'm not saying to go on like Google reviews and like write a scathing review unless like something happened there. I'm talking about if it's something in your community and like you don't want to be complacent, because like it's almost the same thing like we talked about like friendship here, where it's kind of like Drew, hits me his opinion about things, you hit me about opinions about things, and like at the end of the day, I'm gonna, I always say you gotta do it how you want to do it, right? But it's kind of like, if this is a corner store that I go to frequently and I have like a meaningful or like a semi, pseudo meaningful relationship with that person, I'm like, hey man, last time I came in here, this was like this. What would it look like for that change? Like having that eye contact and like having that real one-on-one, I feel like that is missed. Cause like, yeah, I feel like excessively going the long way to write a scathing review is like going out of your way to be malicious for that small business. Because you are right. There are multiples of that, but it's kind of like, if you want to see someone do good, you got to tell them,
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I can feel that.
So it's kind of like with Jay, even though I, fashion wise, I feel like I'm decent for the most part, but it's kind of like when he asks me my opinion, like I legitimately give my opinion because I want him to win. With the small things that he does do, where it's kind of like you have most of your friends that have businesses, and they I don't know if this has ever happened. I don't know if I can maybe cut this on the show. Well, with Maul, does Maul ever like preview music with you?
Yeah.
And have you ever given him feedback that was critical?
Yeah.
And how did he take that?
Well, yeah, he's not sensitive in terms of his art.
So how would you like? Does he think you're trying to tear him down? You see what I'm saying?
No. And most people I know. All right, let me say this. Rephrase that. I believe most people that know me well know I'm a straight shooter. I'm gonna shoot from the hip, and everything I say, I genuinely believe, and it's never from a place of, just trying to be a dick. Just be a dick. Unless I'm trolling, then I'm trying to be a dick. But
yes, yeah. So what do you think about me?
That's a very broad question. What do you mean? It's more specifically.
Yeah, what do you think about me as a?
I've never been one of your clients for your work, so like.
First and foremost, I would never.
Wow, what the fuck? All right, so now I'll tell you what I think about you.
Actually, I'm gonna cut you off for a second. When you said clients, kind of probably
some therapists.
I know I'm evil. So when when I first started like real rap, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When I first started doing like therapy and things like that, I just wanted to be a good therapist. I didn't like the title of like I want to be like a good black therapist because when I heard that like Wallow quote where it's kind of like, are you choosing me because I am black, or are you choosing me because I am a good therapist? And that kind of stuff, like when I started doing it, kind of haunted me a little bit. And then I grew with the duality of my blackness is comfort for someone to get the help that they need. And that is just one identifier. But when I started, I was like, man, I just want you to see me as a good therapist and not just a black one.
For sure.
So I appreciate that. Let me get that off.
No problem.
Is it on me?
Yeah, it's the last question.
Well, everyone, I'm going to read this because, you know, it's been a minute since we've done relationship dynamics, and that is for a plethora of reasons. And a plethora of reasons is not because of Tommy, not because of me. It's just we've been retooling at the Play No Games podcast. We got a lot of dope things, and R&D will be coming back pretty soon. But I just have an R&D question with one of the people who's been on the show before, so let's close it out. How do you know if a woman is really messing with you?
Damn, how do I know if a woman's into me? I wouldn't say women are, you know, one size, no pun intended, or one size fits all type of thing. You know, I think more than anything, it's just the energy she's giving you in terms like communication. Not to put a super gauge on it, but like response time. I think you can kind of tell when someone's communicating with you, or like, you know, how they are when they're around you. If I'm doing this because you're convenient in here versus like I'm actually, you know, engaged and interested in you, and, you know, they're paying attention to small subtleties about you as a person. It's not just like oh, this is a guy just in my face trying to shoot a shot at me. And Rob is over here dying because of his allergies.
No, I'm actually really dying because I'm like, man, because I'm actually your friend, not off the podcast. I'm like, fuck, I feel really bad.
Yeah.
The reason why I kind of brought up that clip is because like it's kind of hard, even like in the whole process of like gauging and understanding like who really messes with you. And I feel like it's kind of hard in this day and age when it comes to like keeping up with the Joneses, the Fugazi piece, and I think there's like green, red, and pink flags that people have to look for. And I think when it comes to like young men, I think it's important to understand like from the beginning a woman who's really like there for you through the good and the bad. And I feel like we just look for the
eye candy.
Yes. And I bring it up because I used to fumble the bag for the light skins.
Used to.
It's panned itself out more recently, but like I used to dumb shit for that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Have you ever like put that before yourself?
Not sure if I'm completely understanding.
No, I'm saying like, have you ever put like, you know, having someone take care of your needs versus like are
you asking me like have I been so caught up in pursuing a girl that I've compromised how I would normally move?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's been that way, you know, just like overly infatuated with a person, and you just wake up one day like, damn, like you're really not here for me. Like even if, you know, we could have been dealing with each other, we could have, you know, had sex, whatever. It's just like you could tell when a person's actually for you, like genuinely for real.
Yeah, and I think the reason I kind of want to bring it up is like what kind of signs do you see for someone who you think that genuinely is like for you? Because like, hey, you know, I've fumbled.
Yeah, I would say one like an example of it would be like, say I'm working on like the stuff I do with Trey with the TV show. If she's actively saying like, oh, hey, you know, have you thought about doing, you know, such and such as a potential segment? Because like it just shows me like, all right, you're like invested into me and like my success professionally, or I'm sick, and not even that I would want anything like this, or like, you know, have expectations for it, because, you know, I live out here by myself. Most of my family isn't here, as you know. But like I've had a woman who she knew I was sick and she sent me a care package, and it was like some small shit, but just like the appreciation of like knowing like, oh, actually like you really care about me, because it is hard when you're sick and can't move and get out of bed to navigate that stuff.
No, and I think that's a real one, because I think also too, like the twist of this question is like, I feel like at times we fumble that, and there are the signs, because like stuff like that. I remember early on getting stuff like that, and or like that being presented, and I didn't like really see it because I didn't take it as valuable, because I was like, all right, what do I gain from this, from like the lustful side of it? So it's kind of like, this question is meant to like really stop everyone to think, being like, who's giving you the attention you really want?
And who looks good and who's good for you.
Yeah. And don't let people, if they ask to come in, don't ask questions.
Yeah.
But
or just throw the money outside.
that is a sinner's plug. That's why we're going with that. But that's pretty much it what I have for that. But
yeah, had a good episode today. Rob's gonna take some Allegra, and as always, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll have this episode out soon. Until next week, y'all.
All right, peace.